Hey everyone, what's up? It's your girl, the Venusian Bull, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited because in this series of videos, we are going to be discussing planets in the 11th house. Okay, it's about to get futuristic up in here. All right, we about to be in the future in this bitch. Okay. You know how it is, you know how we do. We're going to do a little introduction video, little cute intro, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to break down the planets in the 11th house one by one, okay? So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, share, and tell a friend, tell many friends, tell a whole goddamn organization, okay? Because this is the 11th house we're talking about here, all right? Just a little bit of background on the 11th house and kind of the general characteristics. You know, the 11th house is akin to Aquarius. The 11th house is it's very revolutionary. It's very innovative. It's very eclectic kind of energy. It also has to deal with hopes and wishes and dreams, as well as, you know, large groups and organizations and like being a humanitarian and things of that nature. So it's kind of like a wide array of things. And when I go through each of the planets, you'll see some distinct things that I may discuss that I may not discuss in other videos because it'll be, you know, specific to that planet.
All right, so a couple more quick hits on the 11th house. So the 11th house also represents the LGBTQIA community. I think I covered all of the letters in that alphabet. So yes, it represents the LGBTQ plus community. And whether you are a part of this community, whether you're an advocate for this community, whether you have friends that are in this community, or whether you just interact on a regular basis with people in the LGBTQ community, that can be found in the 11th house, that kind of information. And also, this is the house of friends, okay? What about your friends? Will they stand their ground? Will they let you down again? So this is all about friends. So throughout me discussing the planets in the 11th house, and I know that singing was bad, y'all. But anyway, throughout me discussing the planets in the 11th house, I'm also going to discuss what that planet means in terms of how you are as a friend as well. So this is another relationship house, like the 7th house and like the 8th house, but it kind of deals with relationships on a large scale. You know, this is about the collective. It's not about individual relationships or romantic relationships. It's about, you know, your friendships, your platonic, you know, relationships and things like that. And also, you know, any types of, you know, organizations and groups that you may be involved in with like-minded people. So, you know, I just had to get that tidbit in there. You know, I got to be thorough, okay? Bitch, got to be thorough up in this piece, all right? So, yeah, so I just had to get that in. So stay tuned for more.
And of course, as a disclaimer, I let y'all know that I can be quite literal in these videos. Yes, I'm literal on purpose because I make my videos not only for the people who are experienced in astrology, which the 11th house also represents, but also for the newbies that are coming in. So I want to, you know, make sure that they understand. So sometimes I can be overly literal. However, if you have placements in this particular house, just know that depending on what sign is on the 11th house cusp, what aspects other planets are making to this planet and things like that, it can definitely modify this energy, okay? So take this with a grain of salt. Okay, so these are the general characteristics that I'm going to be discussing as it pertains to the 11th house. I think I covered most of the things. It's not like a whole bunch of stuff, but y'all know how it is when I get into these videos. I start yapping, and a video I thought that was going to be 5 minutes turns into 25. So I'm not even going to say necessarily that these will be shorter videos, but we may be shorter. Also, you know, the 11th house is dealing with everything in the abstract, technology, social media, you know, forward thinking, progressivism, you know, all of that is very much 11th house energy. Okay. So without any further ado, we just going to get to it. We just going to get in it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to zoom to the future. Like, all right, I'll see you in 2025. Bye. Hey, what's up, you guys? I am back again with a new video. And in this video, we are going to be discussing Neptune in the 11th house. So I'm back. I got a new do. Okay, I even got a little mic. I don't even know if y'all can see that. Yeah, we trying to move up. We trying to upgrade. Kinda let me upgrade you. So, little upgrade, with the look. And hopefully the sound is better as well. So, yes, so we are talking about Neptune in the 11th house, okay? And Neptune in the 11th is similar to having Neptune in Aquarius, which is generational, or having or having Pisces on the 11th house cusp, okay? So we actually just had Neptune in Aquarius because Neptune is currently in Pisces. Neptune stays in a sign for, I don't know, like maybe like 10 years-ish or so, 12 years or something. It's a generational planet. So sometime in the early 2000s or so, I didn't actually look up the dates to this or whatever. That was probably Neptune in Aquarius. And I think that that's like very fitting, because Neptune does deal with music, right? So I think we saw the emergence of being able to download music and stuff like that via, like Napster. This is innovative technology for music and artistry, right? So like you had your Napster, you had I think it was Morpheus and Kaza. Like if you a millennial or before, then the struggle with trying to download music off the computer on dial-up internet. Okay, because we're in the 11th house. We're talking about internet, but we had to evolve. You couldn't be on the house phone. When you was on the internet, if anybody was on the phone, you couldn't get on the internet. It took like a half an hour for you to dial up, and you heard that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And if anybody still has dial-up internet, what is in your 11th house? Maybe Saturn? I don't know. But child, no dial-up internet in these streets. But we remember that, and remember this is how we downloaded all that good music, all of the, and this has a point because Neptune has to deal with music, right? And the evolution of music and technology as it pertains to music. You know what I'm saying? So it's very fitting. So I would probably like the early 2000s, mid 2000s and stuff was the era of being able to get music on the internet. And then we had iTunes. You could buy and download songs off of iTunes. And now, we have streaming. So that was Neptune, in Aquarius. So seeing how, Neptune kind of influences the music industry and, technology and things of that nature. So in terms of like personal characteristics and things of that nature, Neptune in the 11th is, how I always say 11th house energy and Aquarius energy is weird and it's eccentric. Well, Neptune in the 11th house this is a different kind of weird. This is a different kind of eccentric. This is like, this is really like very zen, very like meditative energy, but like, on this like magnetic plane. Like it's something very telepathic about you and this energy and things like that. So like your intuition and your like prophetic mind is just like so on. So like you can predict the future clearly. Like this placement is like great for astrology and just like really like that predictive type of astrology. And also being very like advanced when it comes to technology as it pertains to anything in the arts, the performing arts, the visual arts. Like you may discover a new way to mix paint together. And I don't mean like the paint, like painting your walls. I mean like paint like, Picasso, Monet, and things of that nature. That's the kind of like painting I mean, like the painting that would be in an art gallery. So different ways to view and see art. You know what I'm saying? So even things like, YouTube and like an Instagram are like different ways you can see art. It's very Neptune in the 11th house. You know what I'm saying? Also, really eccentric, really like wild, and really interesting makeup choices, because Neptune also has to deal with beauty. It's like Venus, but on the 10th power, right? So when we're talking Neptune in the 11th house, we're talking really interesting beauty. We may even be talking about androgynous beauty. And when it comes to makeup, oh, there's no holds barred. Oh, there's no boundaries with this position. This is, because this is Neptune, and Neptune is team no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So with this energy, this is like, I need my boundaries and I also need my freedom. I need to be able to fly like a bird. Fly like a bird straight to the sky. That's Mariah Carey's song. But, you just want to fly like a bird and, save the world. This is like, heal the world, save the world. We are the world. We are the children. That's all of this. Neptune in the 11th is all about all of the people coming together and, being compassionate. I know I jumped around a little bit. I was talking about makeup, and now I'm talking about humanitarianism and coming together. But Neptune in the 11th house can be a little spacey. It can be a little bit all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And lose their track of mind and stuff like that, and be a little bit aloof. So, I think I'm on brand. Um, so, the whole idea, like when you think somebody mess up, but they like incorporate that into the performance. That's what I just did. That was me as Beyonce falling and getting right back up. That's what that is. So yeah, but Neptune in the 11th, I don't know. And I'm even like speaking like softly here, because it's like, it's 11th house energy. It's still eccentric. It's still, fighting for people's rights and, and things like that, and being willful, but it's like a more quiet, it's like a more relaxed kind of willful energy. This isn't necessarily the energy that's going to be like popping off and being really blunt in the way that they speak. They're going to be quite spacey, like I mentioned earlier. And they're going to kind of be like all over and glossy with their speech. And it's just like, I just want to save the animals and I want to save the rainforest. There's so many things that we can do with the climate. This is very like, I feel very climate change activists coming from Neptune in the 11th, especially as it has to pertain to like water and the animals and things like that, because Neptune does represent water, particularly large bodies of water, and things like that. So I feel that energy with Neptune in the 11th house, really putting forth those kind of like metaphysical practices and other divination practices, and kind of like taking them to a new level, because this is like, yes, you're into astrology. Like, yes, you're going to be into tarot and numerology and things like that, and different divination practices, but it's going to be like amplified in a way that's so spiritual. I would say this is probably the most spiritually connected position in the 11th house. And the 11th house isn't really spiritual, but this presents a very spiritual guide when it comes to these, types of divination practices, and just, this type of energy in general. Another thing that I mentioned, and we can swing back to this, what I was talking about earlier, is advancements in different ways that we listen to, art and music. So now we're looking at streaming. This is very Neptune in the 11th house, type of energy. Just streaming, even streaming movies, Netflix, Hulu, streaming TV shows. You don't have to have actual cable anymore. You just, although, having all of these subscription services almost ends up adding up to what you would pay for cable, but you can watch them anytime you want. You don't have to wait until the time to watch it. Like, these are just new, innovative ways to take in art, to listen to art, live streaming, music. What were the kids doing? The silent listening parties. When you go to a party and you have your headphones on and you can only hear the music through your headphones. I've never been to one of those. Apparently, they're like all the rage, or were all the rage, maybe before the pandemic. I don't really understand that purpose, because if I want to listen to music with my headphones on, I can just like do that like wherever I am. That's what I always do. So going to a party, I don't know, it's kind of counterproductive, but that's Neptune in the 11th house for you. Not always like the most practical means. Like Saturn in the 11th house is looking at Neptune in the 11th house like, the fuck is a silent party? Like, silent listening party. Anyway, I'm sure there's a benefit to it. I'm sure it's fun for those of you that have gone to that, but that's very Neptune in the 11th house, like so Neptune in the 11th. Maybe there's like virtual art galleries and things like that, or there's like machines that you can use, like more upgraded high quality machines to like sculpt things and stuff like that, more high quality equipment in like recording studios for making movies, like the people that are behind the camera. Because, you know, Neptune deals with a lot of behind the scenes type of stuff, even like the types of songs, you know, that people are writing. You know, you have to understand there has most definitely been a change in the way that people are writing songs, the types of songs, the types of lyrics that people are singing about these days. And I would argue that they're more, you know, overt and more raw and more to the point, less innuendos and things like that. And even though Neptune is very like vague energy, but just in the spectrum of it representing music and being more progressive and being ahead of its time, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of the energy that's giving off. Also, Neptune in the 11th house, you know, I can't escape, you know, the sciences, the math and sciences types of things and whatnot. But you have to also understand that when it comes to like the advancement in like, you know, vaccines, for instance, or different, you know, types of medications and things like that, because Neptune has to deal with healing. You know what I'm saying? So we're actually trying to heal the world right now of this virus. So Neptune in the 11th house, this is the scientific part in the healing part put together, you know what I'm saying? Trying to find a vaccine, trying to find a cure for, you know, this virus and things like that. And you know, testing it out and doing different things, and sometimes, you know, you do have to test on animals. I'm not very well versed in these types of fields, but yeah, it's like it's very much experimentation, different ways to experiment to be able to heal people. And this can expand to like different ways of like doing therapy. I keep on saying that the therapist that combines astrology and therapy, and I don't believe that hasn't happened yet, because I actually listened to a podcast and there was a therapist on there who incorporated astrology and tarot into their with their clients who liked it. So I don't think it's completely obscure, but it's still like not the norm. This Neptune in the 11th house energy, this is that energy. This is combining those two things. You know what I'm saying? And also it's just the ability, like I said before, to heal in multiple ways. In reference to your friends, you're definitely like the real ultimately compassionate friend, empathetic friend. Like your approach to like activism and like causes and things like that is very much all about like empathy. How do I empathize with these groups of people? And you can pretty much, it's not really so much about where you come from, because you have the ability to kind of connect and empathize with any type of group of people. So you're not so, you know, pigeonholed in one type of activism work. And that's how you kind of interact with your friends. You know, you're like easygoing, you know, you're the healer, you know, you're the one that your friends go to, you're the therapist, you know what I'm saying? They may even ask you for readings. You know what I mean? And you can kind of be, you can maybe come off as a little bit of like the pushover type of thing. Like, I can take advantage of this person, you know, and just know that Neptune in the 11th house has a lot of gifts in terms of healing through technology. So don't be giving your information away. Make sure you patent that shit, them inventions and stuff like that. Don't let people take advantage of you, because this could be that type of energy, especially your friends. Don't let your friends take advantage of you, because you could have you could have the type of friends that can lie, cheat, steal, or you could be that friend that lies, cheats, steals, because, you know, this is Neptune that we're talking about on the negative end, and just, you know, really fake energy. And I forgot to mention this about 11th house and Aquarius. Aquarius energy and 11th house energy can come off as a bit fake. And with Neptune there, it can really kind of exasperate this. So be mindful of if you're really being real, which is, rose colored glasses, delusions of grandeur with delusions of grandeur with Neptune in the 11th house, for real. Like, it's, you're extremely smart, you're extremely gifted, you're so forward thinking and progressive. But the common sense that you lack is just so apparent. So you just really have to make sure that you're protecting your gifts and protecting the things that are so near and dear to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it can make you some money and it can be helpful to a large amount of people, a large scope of people. You don't want anybody stealing your ideas and things like that. So be careful who you call your friends. Okay. I will say that, because you're going to have a lot of friends. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to gravitate towards you, that don't want to be around you, but are they around you for the right reasons? Questions that need answers. Okay. All right. So we've covered a lot in this video. I've talked about a lot of different things that I haven't talked about in previous 11th house videos. So I hope you appreciated that. I know, again, all over the place, it's Neptune and Aquarius. And plus, it's still Mercury retrograde, y'all. And Mercury is in microbraids and Gatorades. That's what they call it on the internet. So yeah, this is that energy. Oh, in terms of beauty, because I mentioned Mercury and microbraids and I got my hair done. Neptune in Aquarius, or Neptune in the 11th house, this is like the progression of beauty. This is like beauty as it is before its time. This is somebody in 1995 who already knew that the way that we were going to be doing our eyebrows in 2020. Because you can tell a picture of someone based off of their eyebrows, because there's different eyebrows for different decades. And we know this, right? And then like just different ways of doing your hair. I know for Black people, Black hair, like the evolution has been huge. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to, create wigs, good wigs that look like real hair that's coming out of your scalp and shit like that. New ways of putting weave in, and new ways of being able to dye your hair without all of your hair falling out and stuff like that. New like makeup trends, new hair trends, new beauty trends, skin trends, and things of that nature. So this is all Neptune in the 11th house, beauty enhancements. This is also plastic surgery energy, okay? And this is like, obviously this is like eccentric energy and things like that, but even just in general, this is a way to kind of artificially enhance yourself. Like, this is very much like creating, like they created this. I remember a couple years ago they created like this Black Barbie or something like that. This is very Neptune in the 11th house. Like, she just looked perfect, but she was like a robot, like a beauty robot. That's like Neptune in the 11th house. Like, not a real person that can actually speak. You know what I'm saying? But just like an image. You know what I'm saying? But it was created using technology. So we're mixing technology and beauty, right? So just remember these things for Neptune in the 11th house, the biggest themes: technology and healing, technology and music or the arts, technology and beauty. These are the combinations. We mixing them things together to make the world a better place. Well, they think they're making the world a better place, but it breeds a lot of artificial people, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But that's okay, because we got the healing and the compassionate energy and the empathetic energy to kind of back that up. But just make sure, like I said again, you're being discerning when it comes to who you're selecting as your friends, because Neptune energy, it's difficult to have discernment, because you look at everybody through rose-colored glasses. You think everybody is great. You give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Everybody, like, if they smile at you, you think they're your friend. It's like, oh, they're so nice. They're so sweet. Oh, they lent me $5. Oh, they gave me some of their weed. Like, just, advancements in the cannabis industry and various other drugs, love and other drugs and things like that. Because weed is becoming legal in most of the states. It's about, I think like maybe 25 to 30 states that have legalized it and things like that. So just certain things coming out of the woodworks as it pertains to drugs and things like that. So, Neptune in the 11th house is already predicting that, weed will basically be like in 10 years, it's going to be like how alcohol is and cigarettes. It's just, that's the evolution. But y'all know Neptune deals with drugs and stuff like that. So watch your friends with Neptune in the 11th house. Make sure they're not having no overdoses or going overboard with the drugs, okay? Or the drinking, because it could be drinking, or the sex. Yeah, just a very addictive tendencies, or even just like addicted to beauty. Maybe they just keep on getting all of this plastic surgery because they want to look more plastic. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. Remember that? Neptune in the 11th. All right, so we're done. I've been rambling on about this placement. If you happen to have this placement, let me know if these characteristics resonated with you. Let me know if you have any friends or know somebody with Neptune in the 11th house. And let me know if this fits the description. Once again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.